The price of desire. Have you ever wanted something so much you'd do anything for it? Have you ever traded your soul for a dream? Infinite money? True love? Or even to live forever? But what if I told you there's a place where it's possible, but at a price you can't even imagine? Brace yourself, because what you're about to read could change the way you view your own desires. It was a new moonlit night. The wind blew through the trees as if whispering warnings no one heard. Derek Morrison, the lumberjack, entered the woods with only a flashlight and a bad feeling. 37 years old, a widower for 2 years, he carried on his back not only the weight of the logs, but also the memories of his wife who had died in a sawmill accident, a tragedy he never forgave himself. The smell of burning hung in the air, but there was no fire in sight. Only silence. It was fear. As he approached the source of the odor, he felt as if someone was following him. He shouted several times, asking who was there, but received no answer. The trees seemed to close in around him, as if the forest itself wanted to trap him. And then, a thick black smoke began to spread. Within the smoke, Derek saw a woman in a black dress. Her face was covered by hair, but her eyes were red and piercing. When she moved, she suddenly disappeared. But what he saw next froze him. In the middle of the forest, near the town, lay the body of Marcus Blackwood, a major industrialist whose factory employed half the residents of Black Hollow. His torso was gone. Only his head, arms, and legs remained, sewn together grotesquely, as if someone had tried to mend a broken soul. On his forehead was a circular symbol, not just a random design, but an ancient mark that the elders of the region recognized with terror. It was said to be the mark of someone who made a pact with something beyond the world of the living. A pact that offered a tribute at each new moon. Furthermore, Marcus's correct investigation had disappeared. All documents, testimonies, and even security camera footage. Derek ran to the police station, trembling. This was the second similar case in 2 months. On the previous new moon, the police found the body of Ethan Cole, a small-time businessman in town. He, too, had no clear investigation and bore the same devilish symbol on his forehead. The lead investigator was his own twin brother, Cole Turner. Cole Turner explained the cases attentively, but there was something in his eyes that Derek recognized: fear. He believed something terrible was happening in town. The police searched the entire forest, but found nothing. Cole began a deeper investigation and discovered something disturbing. Both Marcus and Ethan had lost their trust before their deaths. Marcus had been diagnosed with terminal cancer, and Ethan was on the verge of bankruptcy. This left everyone confused. Have you ever stopped to think that your desires might come at a price? That same night, Dr. Ryan Ashford had just returned home from the hospital after a long day at work. He had just had a son, after many years of trying. 3 miscarriages, 2 years of therapy, and countless wasted prayers. Strangely, all the lights in the house were off except for a few oil lamps. The baby slept quietly in the crib, but something was wrong. Ryan called out to his wife Sarah several times, but received no answer. That was when he felt as if he were being watched. The air seemed thicker, charged with something old and rotten. When he touched the lamp and looked around, he saw no one. But suddenly, a woman with red eyes appeared before him. Her hair covered her face, but her eyes glowed like embers. Seeing her, Ryan was terrified and dropped a lamp. When he turned on the house lights, he saw a woman in a black dress standing before him. Her hair was loose and she stared at him with red eyes. When he asked who she was, the woman vanished into thin air. It was then that he heard the baby's loud cries. He ran into the room and saw his son crying near the bed, staring blankly at where the woman had disappeared. As he bent down to pick him up, he saw something that froze him. Under the bed was his wife's body. Her body was divided like the others, head, arms, and legs joined, but her torso was gone. On her forehead, The same devilish symbol. Ryan began to cry desperately. When Inspector Cole arrived at the Ashford house, he discovered that Ryan's wife was also missing the correct inquest. All the medical records of the birth had disappeared. Faced with Ryan's desperation, Cole revealed a truth that shocked him. After years of trying unsuccessfully to have a child, Ryan and Sarah had heard talk of a cave deep in the forest. It was said that ancient women lived there, keepers of secrets and desires, women who could grant the impossible, but always exacted a price. That night, months before, they went to the forest. Suddenly a strong gust of wind blew, and they heard voices calling Sarah's name. Following the voices, they found the cave. They both managed to enter, but a woman in a black dress stopped Ryan and let only Sarah pass. Ryan waited outside. After a while, he heard his wife scream. When she left, her direct inquiry had vanished. She didn't remember the birth, didn't recognize the baby, and began acting strangely. Cole heard something similar in the cases of Ethan and Marcus. Ryan told Cole he believed those women were dains, demonic creatures who practiced dark magic. They took away people's desires and controlled them. And every night of the new moon, they demanded a victim as a sacrifice. Have you ever heard what happens when you make a pact with the unknown? Cole didn't believe in such things, but what was happening in town made him question everything. That same night, Cole went to the woods with his subordinate, Derek Morrison, Derek's cousin. As they searched, a strong wind blew, and the forest fell into complete darkness. Cole heard screams and suddenly saw the souls of Ethan, Marcus, and Sarah Ashford. They all had white skin and completely black eyes. The souls approached him, but Jake couldn't see them. Suddenly, the souls vanished into thin air. Confused and frightened, Cole told Jake everything and asked him to call the local officials and residents. When Jake left, the forest grew dark again. Cole began to hear women's voices calling his name. Following the voices, he found the cave Ryan had mentioned. Upon entering, he saw black smoke and, in it, the same woman in the black dress that Ryan and Derek had described. Her red eyes glowed through her loose hair. Cole followed the cave, guided by whispers and echoes of ancient promises. When Jake returned with reinforcements, they found Cole's body in the middle of the forest. His torso was gone, his head, arms, and legs sewn together, the devilish symbol on his forehead, and the proper inquest was also missing. But the most frightening thing, in his pocket was a folded piece of paper, written in blood, "You're next." After that, everyone believed there were dains in that forest, devil worshippers, sacrificing innocents. Since then, no one has entered the forest, and to this day, it is believed the dains are still there. The truth behind this case has never been revealed, but what we've seen in certain stories makes us wonder, was this the work of the devil, of ancient creatures, or something even more terrifying, something closer to us than we imagine? You might be wondering, what really happened in that cave? What did the dains do to the people who entered? According to ancient accounts found in hidden manuscripts, the dains were women who lived centuries ago, betrayed, forgotten, and cursed. They developed a dark ritual. They exchanged wishes for human body parts. The doubt was only the beginning. Each wish granted offers a greater tribute at the next new moon, and the cycle never ended. But here's the scariest part. The victims don't die immediately. They become servants of the dains, controlled remotely until they are called for the final sacrifice. Have you ever stopped to wonder why people are willing to pay any price for their desires? The cases in Black Hollow reveal a fascinating psychological pattern. The greater the desperation, the greater the willingness to risk everything. Ethan was on the verge of bankruptcy. Marcus battled a terminal illness. Ryan and his wife faced the pain of infertility. Cole obsessively pursued the truth. Everyone was in moments of extreme vulnerability. And it was precisely in those moments that things appeared. The demonic creatures knew exactly when to strike. Records indicate that this ritual occurs in 21-year cycles. Each cycle begins with an initial sacrifice, usually someone who voluntarily enters the cave. Then, the victims begin to behave strangely, paving the way for the subsequent sacrifices. The final phase is always the most violent. The investigator trying to uncover the truth becomes the next victim, exactly as happened with Cole. Did he know this before entering the forest? Today, Black Hollow is a ghost town. The residents fled after the events of 1980. The forest was sealed off by unknown authorities. Official documents were classified as top secret. But recent reports indicate that every 21 years, strange activity occurs in the region. Strange lights in the forest, mysterious disappearances, and, of course, new victims with the circular symbol. The question remains, who will be next? Before judging the victims of Black Hollow, consider, what would you be willing to sacrifice to fulfill your greatest wish? Your money, your health, your family, or something much more valuable? Stories like these exist to remind us of a fundamental truth. Every wish has a price, and we are not always prepared to pay it. The truth behind this case has never been revealed. But one thing is certain, some stories don't end. They just wait for the right moment to begin again. And maybe you're the next piece in this dark puzzle, because some truths are better left undiscovered. In the early hours of this morning, in some town, someone woke to the smell of burning in the air. Someone heard voices calling their name. Someone saw a shadow where there shouldn't be one. The new moon is approaching, and pacts are being offered. For those of you who have made it this far, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, like it, and leave a comment. See you in the next videos.